Hey everyone, it's Melissa O'Grady, your Direct Sales Diva, and today is the video I promised you about holiday craft shows. There's so many different things that you can be doing around the holiday season to increase your sales and build your team and just get your name out there and build your list. And one of those ways is with craft shows. Now, even if the item that you are selling isn't a craft, in many cases you are still allowed in craft shows. So we're going to go over everything from how to find them, how much should you pay, do you need a tax ID certificate, how you can get one, all these different things, how to set up your display, how to present yourself, how to present your products, how to, do raffles and all that stuff. So let's get right into it so that we can get as much learned in as little time as possible. So the first thing you want to do is to find craft shows, and many like churches and schools will advertise them in signs right in front of their building. So keep your eyes out when you're driving around town. The other places where they're going to advertise for it is going to be on Craigslist under the events section under community. Okay, they're going to advertise on local websites, like if there are classified websites, like I live in a suburb of Buffalo, so there's a website called buffalo.com that has a calendar of all the events going on, and many churches and schools will advertise their craft shows for free on that calendar. So you want to look at that. You want to look at local, news stations, radio stations, and see if they have event calendars as well. So, if you have a local, newspapers, not just a daily paper, but if you have like a free weekly paper that gets delivered to your house on weekends, you're going to want to check in there too. A lot of times you'll see vendors needed, advertisements. So you want to look into those to find craft shows. There are also craft show websites that just list different craft shows all over the country, and you can try those. Those are a little lesser known, so they don't get used as often, but some of the bigger craft shows do know about it, and they do post there, hoping that you'll find them. So you might want to check those out as well. Now, craft show tables are usually anywhere from $10 to hundreds of dollars, depending on the size of the show and where it is. Now, in my personal opinion, I really truly think that you should spend no more than $100 tops to do a craft show for this, especially if you're just starting doing them. You don't want to start out too far in the negative. And if your price point for your products are lower, that just means you have to sell a heck of a lot more in order to just break even. So especially, with the paparazzi jewelry, like what I'm wearing today, that's $5. And if I get if I buy $100 table, just, retail wise, you have to, sell way too many pieces in order to recoup. And then when I factor in my wholesale cost, it's even more. So, so you want to be careful with that. You want to really look into it. When you're getting started, the general, cost of a table should be between 20 and $50. Really, especially for small shows. If you're doing a large show where you're going to have a huge amount of traffic and you should ask them what their traffic should be, then go ahead. You might want to commit to it and do a larger show. A lot of them, though, may be juried. And if it's a juried show, you're really not going to get in it because you're going to need to present slides showing your display units. They want just handcrafted items, things like that. So if you find a juried show, you're probably not going to get in, and I wouldn't waste your time at this point. So just starting out, this is a good price point for you. Generally, they include tables. Sometimes they include electricity these days if you need it. Sometimes they do not. Sometimes places will charge you extra. It doesn't matter. Usually it's a table. It's either a 6-foot, an 8-foot, sometimes even a 10-foot space that you get. Now, when you go there, you're going to have to set up your display. And this is what we're going to talk about next, your display. You do not want a flat table with a tablecloth thrown on top and then your pieces just laying there. You don't want the eye to have to go down to a table and look down because it's going to bore the eyes. It's going to make people not want to look, and they're just going to walk right by your table. So you need to build a display. You need to have different levels besides just the table. So you can use very simple things, like you can take a tote or a box that you brought your items in and just put some cloth over it that you get cheap by the yard at Walmart or whatever, and you've got a shelf unit. You've got a unit to put things on. If you have things that hang up, you can build, a corner unit out of, simple plywood and, pegboard or with lattice wood, and you can make, a pretty display and color it and paint it and have things on different levels for people to look. When the eye has to roam around to see everything, they see more of it. They get interested. So you want different levels of things on there. In the very center of the table, I also recommend you have some sort of raffle for one of your items. Now, if your items are a higher price point, because, we're not crafters necessarily if we're in direct sales, so we're not selling wreaths and ornaments where you can just say, oh, I'm raffling off a wreath. You may have a product that you're selling or a service that you're selling that's not going to interest as many people. So you might want to get a non-related item other than something from your inventory to raffle off. If you want to invest money into a show, then invest money in something that's going to get you the biggest list possible. So I say invest in something such as a tablet, an MP3 player, any one of these things like that. And you may be thinking, well, that's a lot of money. You go into stores like Big Lots and things like that, and they have tablets sometimes for, 60, 70 bucks. I would rather spend 60 or 70 bucks on a tablet that's going to get me 200 names for my list than I would rather raffle off a $20 one of my, company's items where I might only get 10 or 20 people to actually sign up for it because half of everyone else doesn't really care. And you may think, well, if they don't care, why do you want them on your list? Because they may find a future use for you. Craft shows are very much an impulse kind of buy. They go there with a specific idea in their head of what they're shopping for, and they may not be shopping for what you have at that time, but that doesn't mean they won't want to shop for it later on. They might think to themselves 3 months down the road, if you send a postcard with a coupon, they may say, oh, you know what? My mom's birthday is, coming up in a couple of weeks. She'd love this item right here. I'm going to order it for her. So this is why it's a good idea to raffle off something that will get the masses to your table. And what I would do is create a raffle card that has their name, their address, their email, their phone, and ask questions saying, are you interested in hosting a party? Are you interested in purchasing our products, later on down the road? And then, are you interested in earning money with the opportunity to become a consultant? And have a yes or no for each one where they can circle. And, you just have them on little clipboards. Get some clipboards from eBay, go to the office store, have 5 or 6 of them with pens attached, and say to everyone, would you like to, chance to win an MP3 player? Want to win a tablet? Win a tablet, win a tablet. You want to just have anyone walking by coming over and filling out that form. And you try to have conversations with them and try to figure out what they're looking for, what their needs are. And if you have a conversation where they're like, you get the vibe that they want to sell and become a consultant under you, then you take their raffle slip and you write hot lead, wants to sign up, and then you put it in the raffle box that you have. So that way when you're done, you have little notes on some of these cards for the people that you know that you want to contact right away. So you want to have this raffle, and you really want to hold the raffle. I've seen so many people not actually do the raffle and just keep the product and keep the names and not give it away. You want to give it away. And something else that I've always done with craft shows in the past is I will call everyone on that list or email everyone on that list and say, hey, guess what? Congratulations, you didn't win the grand prize, but you won a secondary prize of $10 off your order of $40 or more, or something like that. You wanted to offer them something smaller and make them feel that they're a winner, and you just offer that to everyone, not just one person. You offer it to every person. So that way you get the opportunity to have additional sales, additional income, additional team members coming in after the event just based on your raffle. So let's also talk about other things. Your presentation, yourself. You do not want to be sitting in that plastic or metal chair that the church or school that the show provides for you and ignoring people. You don't want to be sitting there reading a paperback. You don't want to be eating food, drinking coffee. You want to be standing in front of your display and talking to people. Even if you're nervous, you can smile and say hi to everyone. Just talk to people. Whatever you're selling, you might, first of all, you want to draw them over to your raffle. Then you could talk to them about the product on the table. You start conversations with people and you get interested. It's about building the relationship. It is true. You are branding yourself, and if you're sitting behind the table looking unapproachable, people are not going to want to bother you. They're going to think that they're bothering you. So you need to be approachable and be out there and, talk to everybody and be personable. You also want to dress to success. You can wear jeans. I'm not saying you can't, but if you have a company logo shirt, even if it's a t-shirt, that's fine. But wear something that's representative of your company. If you're a company that sells some sort of food product, wear an apron. If you have any kind of apron with the company that you're with, wear it. It's cute. It'll help you hold money and things like that you need. That's another thing that we'll talk about. So these days, it's so much easier because I've done craft shows since I was about 10 years old with my mom. I've done them all my life. I'm going to be 35, so I've been doing them for 25 years. And one of the things I love these days is that you now have these little Intuit readers, the little square reader that you can pop right into your smartphone and process credit cards right there. So that is awesome. So if you get people that want something in your product or in your catalog, you can have them order it right then and there. I mean, back then in the old days, I had a credit card swiper and I would have to swipe every card and manually input it when I got home, or I would have to try to send invoices if I managed to have internet on a computer and send them invoices and hope that they actually finish the order so I can get it for them. It used to be a mess. Another good thing I'll mention that you'll want to do with your display, if your company sells anything that is a really eye-catching item, it lights up, it plays music, it does something like that, have that be front and center on your display and have it playing throughout the day. It will draw people to your table as well as what a raffle will do. And, when I was with Avon for many years, and they had, I'm sure some of you, if you sell Avon, you know of this item. It was like a dad teddy bear doll wearing glasses with his son sitting in his lap, and they were holding the 'Twas the Night Before Christmas book. And you push the button on the bear, and he would move back and forth, and he would tell the entire story, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, to his kid. And one year when I was doing a craft show, I had him on the box. I had a box on top of a box, so he was really high up. And I just kept pushing that button and letting him say the story again and again and again. And all day long, I sold them like crazy. I had about a dozen with me, and in addition to that, I probably sold 30 or 40 more just from the catalog. I sold tons of them just because people could actually see it and hear it, and they thought it was gorgeous and thought it was great for their grandkids. I made a killing off those. So that is something, if you have something musical like that, something that lights up, that will draw people in, draw their eyes in, draw their ears in, you want to do that. Now, some will require that you need a tax ID. Now, you have to look into your company. I know Paparazzi, they will give you a copy of their tax ID, which is perfectly legal to do, so that you have it on hand if it's required. Or what you would have to do is, if you don't have an official business name, you can just get a tax ID in just your name and have that on hand. It's, for most states, it's a folded card piece of paper that just says that you pay your taxes. All right, so it's a card that a lot of craft show event places will require you to have. So you also want to make sure, again, that you're following up with people. When you get your raffle list, you have to follow up with the people on that list. It takes time. This is a business, and you have to run it like a business, which means you're going to have to pick up the phone. And I know that can be a scary thing, to pick up the phone and have to talk to people. But like I said, a great icebreaker is to call them up and say that they won a second prize, of free shipping or free this, or whatever you want to offer them. You got to offer them something, a discount or something free when they order, something along those lines. With Avon, it's so simple because you could use the little the little lip balms or the little lotions. Even if you are not even an Avon rep, you might want to contact a local Avon rep and buy a crap load of those little stocking stuffer little lotions and offer those for free and say, hey, with your order of, $20 or more, you'll get a free lotion, from my friend, you'll get a free lotion with your order. And heck, help out a fellow customer, help out someone else in the industry and offer their business card or brochure with the lotion so that they can order from them in the future. You gotta stick together and work together and do things. And maybe you can offer something to that person to give out to their customers so that it's working both ways. So you really want to try craft shows. You want to give them a try. They can be very successful, and yes, they can be very disappointing sometimes. hit or miss, and you never know unless you try, which is why I recommend you try low. Let me see who's on my phone here. No one we need to talk to, so we're gonna hang up on them. So, so this is my life. You know, it's just sometimes difficult, and thankfully I got my daughter on one computer and managed to shut the door to record this video. So now is the time to get into craft shows and get involved, okay? Because they're happening now. They're happening every weekend, every Saturday and Sunday. There's craft shows going on all over the place from now through Christmas. So now is the time to get in. And you also want to do something fun. If you don't have company bags with logos, go to the dollar store. You can buy, you know, holiday related bags. You can buy just like the 3 or 4 packs of like the plain paper bags, and you can stamp designs on them. You can make them look cute. You can do things just to give that extra little bit of, you know, pizzazz to make you stand out so that you're remembered at these shows. So, you know, make sure you have business cards set out. Make sure you have your information right there and handy. Make sure you are asking people if they'd like to book a party. You know, you want to do what you can. And if you're going to do that, make sure you have a calendar right then and there and you book it. You write it in your calendar. You put it down. You know, you give little packets out. You can create a packet to give to someone who signs up to book a party. You can give them any information that they would need, a free sample of something they would need, and just make up packets. Get some folders from the office store, you know, make up a dozen packets and have them sitting right there. And if someone books a party with you and you write it on your calendar, you open up her packet and you write the date on hers. You have some invitations in there already. You do this. You say you're going to call her tomorrow. You know, you get really involved in it and have little packets like that ready. It's another great thing to do. And it's something else that you could do for people who may want to join your team as well. You might want to have introduction packets with like a DVD about the company, things like that, compensation plans, and have things like that just sitting there ready as a just in case. The more prepared you are, the more likely you are to succeed at it. All right, so I've been talking for about 17 minutes. I wanted to not have it be that long, so we're going to stop now. If you have any questions, any comments, please post below. I can help more people if you are active and actually post and reply and tell me what you think and ask questions and strike up conversations. So let's work together. As long as we continue to work together right here on my Facebook page, the more successful we will all be. So thank you very much for listening this long. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great holiday season. We're going to be doing some more videos about open houses and other things coming up. I've had huge success with doing open houses, and if you haven't scheduled one with your company, with your business, in your home, or someone else's home, it's time to do that. So that's going to be the next video. I will talk to you soon. Have a great day, everyone.